Hello, everyone. Happy Motivational Monday. My name is Kira. I am your host, and it is just me today with you, which I'm so excited about. It has been about 6 months since we've done an episode where it's just been me with you. And I feel like we've done a lot of wonderful work this year. I feel like we've done a lot of wonderful work already this month with our money mindset. And unfortunately, our guide was not available today, but I've been kind of craving some alone time with you all anyway. So today's conversation is about how to afford the life you're living currently. This was a really important conversation for us to bring to the table, starting to finish out our money mindset month in our financial well-being series. And the reason why is because so many of us have not been taught how to even afford the life that we live. We've been taught to use finance, we've been taught to use credit cards, and we're not going to talk about the actual ways to manage our money. That is next month, money management. This is still money mindset. But with the realization, and you guys can drop 111 in the chat if you feel similarly to me, where you were not prepared to have an awareness of how to handle your finances properly. I did not grow up learning it. I did not have healthy habits in my life. I did not see healthy representations. And I think that this is real and what a lot of us go through as well. However, there are two main resources that we utilize the absolute most: time and money. Time we can't do anything with. We can be more intentional with it. We can be more aware of it. We can see what we want to do with our time, but that is a finite resource. We can't make more. We can't have less. It just is what it is. With money, though, we can make more, we can spend more, and a lot of our mindset around that is changing things. And a lot of you realize, yeah, maybe I wasn't given the right tools to manage my money effectively. And that's a real conversation. That's a real place to be in. I want to recap what we've talked about this month. And if you have any insights, if there have been any breakthroughs that you've experienced this month in our money mindset month, I would love to hear some of the transformations that you all have been through as well, because we're all doing this work together. And it does take work and it does take time. But I know even for some of you, it doesn't have to be, oh my God, I saved $500. For some of you, it could be, hey, I was shopping the other day and I went there for a specific list of things. And instead of buying all the other things that I saw that I wanted, I only bought the list of things that I knew that I was there to get. That is a huge win. So if there are any wins, let us know in the chat. But I want to recap what we've talked about this month because there's been a lot that has happened. So we started the month with the neuroscience of money and why money feels so good. The way that we spend it, the way that our mind takes those dopamine hits, the way that we have had these levels of, yeah, maybe feeling good with money, but then what happens afterwards? And how do we keep that up and thriving and upbeat, right? Kristen goes, wait, it's possible to stick to a grocery list? It took me about 2 years to get there, but it's true. It's real. Um, and a lot of what we talked about also were the stories as well, right? So maybe some of us have the story of I go to the grocery store and I never have a list and I just buy whatever I want and then food waste in my fridge. I think a lot of us do that. I definitely do that. You can drop 222 in the chat if that's you. Maybe we change our mindset around that. Maybe we realize, okay, maybe I could try the list. Maybe, and this is the thing too, when we're starting to talk about mindset, we can start gamifying things. So maybe the idea of only buying what's on your grocery list is exhausting to you. Maybe you gamify it. Maybe instead of just being like, oh my God, I gotta go to the grocery store and only get what's on my list, but I know I want all of these other things, gamify it and be like, cool. If I go to the grocery store 3 times this week and only get what's on the list, I can buy myself that $15 piece of chocolate that usually is way too expensive. Over those three grocery trips, you've probably saved that amount of money by staying on your list. So gamify it, make it fun. Money doesn't have to be this wildly depressing or restricting thing. It can be really empowering. So I'm curious with us having these money mindset conversations, we've looked at the stories that we've been telling ourselves with money. We've also looked at our parents, we've looked at our grandparents, we've had the realizations that, okay, maybe they didn't spend money that great, and maybe I just didn't learn properly. That's perfectly fine too. So that was the first episode that we had of Motivational Monday, of starting to question the narratives a little bit. What are the thoughts that I have around money? When does that crazy little voice pop into my head that says, buy it anyway? Just buy it. Do I buy it anyway, but then stress out when I'm paying my bills? Maybe I'm doing things a little backwards. These are real conversations that we've been having this month, and hopefully they've been changing some perspectives in your mind. Then we did the episode with Candace about spicing up your relationship with money. And I opened up with the song Drunk on Myself by Anise. And I'll drop that link in the chat because I know some of you are big music people like me. But this song is all about, he's like, I've been drunk on myself for a while now, feeling good, treating myself like the king I was made to be. And it's this conversation of, wow, I finally love myself. Wow, I finally have boundaries. Wow, I finally do the things that I know I should do. Wow, I am so drunk on myself for the first time when in my whole entire life, I've been drunk on other people's opinions. I've been drunk on other people's thoughts. I've been drunk on other people's judgments when really, like, all I need to do is make sure that I'm good. And I feel like when we take responsibility for our money and when we take responsibility for our finances, we're building a level of trust in ourselves, we're bringing a level of support in ourselves. And that's a little bit of the conversation that we had with Candace about, hey, how do we spice up our relationship with money? When are we courting money? How do we set dates? How do we show up? How do we build a responsible structure? How do we build responsibility in our relationship with money? Pay now, cry later. Patrick says, stop. Oh my gosh. Um, allocated. So Frank says, allocated funds to a specific account as my fun budget for the month. I love that. It was exhausted a week in, but have been a homebody since, so at least I'm not spending. Frank, we cannot downplay how important that is. I've had cash in my wallet and I've been moving. Obviously, I'm in a new home. Oh my goodness. Um but I've been in a lot of stores doing a lot of shopping for the home, and which means I've been around so many beautiful things and clothings and rings and all of it. And I was like, okay, if I have the cash in my wallet, then I can buy the extra thing. But if I don't have the cash in my wallet, I can't buy the extra thing. So that could be helpful too, of being like, okay, I know that I like to go out. I probably spend more than $100 a month going out to eat. I don't, I cook, but some of you might. And you're like, you know what? I'm only going to pay for it in cash. And I'm going to have $100 in my wallet dedicated to eating out. Very similar to what Frank did. Instead of being like, I can't go out, give yourself a budget. And then when you max out that budget, then you have to wait like 3 weeks and be like, dang, maybe I could do this a little bit more efficiently next month. Maybe instead of doing everything in a week, I can break it up in between 2 weeks and give yourself that satisfaction throughout the month. And really, I think the biggest thing that I want to talk about as we're coming to the end of our money mindset conversation is how can we make it fun? That was the whole conversation that we had with Candace. How can we make this an enjoyable process? Drop 333 in the chat if you don't like saving money, if you don't like looking at your bank accounts, if you don't like paying your bills, if you stress about money on a regular basis. Ooh, the threes are coming in. It's real. All of us are going through it. I've gone through that. I still go through it. I've been going to Marshall's. I'm so annoyed. And it's good, but like I have to buy all these organizers for under my bathroom and for my kitchen sink, and I have to buy new utensils because I don't have any, all the things. And I'm like, $200 there, $300 there. And it's not as gratifying as it used to be. And I also need to shift my mindset to having a little bit more fun with it as well, because these are all things that I need to live. I have the budget for it, but I've become such a money hoarder over the past year and a half that I'm like, oh, I have to learn how to swipe it now and have some fun actually spending it and doing the things. And having my own place has been why I've done all this work for the past year and a half, but now I'm in it and I feel myself not having fun and I'm like, Kira, chill. Yeah, Kalina says basically if you don't like adulting, put 333 in the chat. It's true. I mean, here's the thing, right? I operate really well in life when I have the information and I know how to move forward. I do not operate well when I do not have the information. And finances for most of my life felt like this really weird anomaly and like this equation or this way of being that I did not quite understand. And I definitely felt a little bit of a victim to my money. And it's so funny that Aaron says going from root chakra to crown baby because it's real. I'm wearing red today for a very specific reason. I want us to get really grounded and rooted into our mindset around money. I want us to feel really good around our mindset with money. I want us to become friends with our money. I want us to see that money is a resource that gets us to where we want to go. When a lot of us look at money as a burden, we look at our finances as a burden. We look at our taxes as a burden. We look at paying our bills as a burden. And then even when we buy the things that we always wanted to buy, it feels like a burden because we have buyer's remorse because we just haven't built any healthy habits with money. Now, the fun part is that we've been doing work around it. And some of you are seeing results, and some of you are seeing change. Last week with Charles, some of you really loved that episode. I feel like that was such a grounded, good, centered episode. Charles has this really beautiful, sweet, grounding energy, teaching us to have gratitude for the things that we have around us, teaching us maybe some of your money mindset is looking around and being like, you know what? I have enough. I'm so excited to finish shopping for my place and to sit in my beautiful couch that will be here on November 11th. And I'm looking at where my couch would be. Um, and to be content. I live in a new place. I want to tell you some of my money mindset and maybe give you some stories that help you continue this because we're closing out money mindset and we're stepping into money management next week. And this is a different episode because we don't have a guide with us. I moved. Okay. How did this process start? A year and a half ago, I was $30,000 in debt and I was just starting to work for Life Guides. I ran a business for 5 years prior to that, based specifically on coaching and mentorship and helping people live a more healthy, full, robust life. So when I came to Life Guides, I got to bring that to the table here. But I also was really, really, really struggling financially. I was living with my mom for this entire time up until 2 weeks ago, as a 27 to 29-year-old needing to really figure out her financial foundations. I had to shut down my business because I did not start any of my financial foundations right ever. And I started with Life Guides. Again, I had spent 5 years being a mentor and a coach. So when I started with Life Guides, I was like, oh, amazing. I love coaching and mentorship. I love growth. And I want you to put in the chat, I love growth if you love growing. Because some of you are on these calls but you're not getting a guide to support you on your journey. And that's where you're going to have your biggest growth. So when I started with Life Guides, I got a guide specifically for my finances. I was like, I'm $30,000 in debt. I've been neglecting it for 4 or 5 years. I have to fix it. I'm living with my mom as a grown adult. Someone please help me. Oh, wait, the person who's going to help me is me choosing to get a guide to help me. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. So I got a guide. And I remember probably the first 2 or 3 months, I didn't feel like I was doing much, but I was. We were looking at my bank account once a week. We were starting to put things in savings. We were hoarding a lot of money. Um, and I have a notebook. This is my notebook. I want to show you. The first call I had with my guide was on 6/27, 2024. First call. We talked about the fact that I only need time, that I was $33,000 in debt, that I did make residual money. I was concerned. I was trying to move to Puerto Rico. I was concerned about money with a move. I was also trying to move to Miami. I was doing a lot. Um, but we set up a plan. Money has to be taken out of my account for large expenses. I need to use my card to only make small payments and pay things off. And I need to track month to month my miscellaneous expenses. And she said the first call we ever did was I am in an uncertain situation and I need to hoard cash. The next thing was I need to be in an expected situation. So I need at least $1,000 for my emergency. I need to pay off at least half of my credit card, and I need to make minimum payments towards my car. So we had a whole plan and suggestion. This was our first call. We had a whole plan. We knew what we were working towards, but I was vulnerable. I told her, I was like, girl, I've had this debt for a while. I'm a grown adult. I need help. And she was like, okay, this is our plan. And now look, hold on. I can show you where we're at today. When was the last call I had with her? The last call I had with her, I don't want you to see all of my numbers, but 10/21/2025. This is every call that we have had for a year and a half. These are the notes that I'm taking. This is the work that we're doing. These are the bullet points that I'm putting down. We have one call a week for an hour. We go through my bank accounts. She knows everything that's in my bank accounts. I love that because I'm not good at that. So she helps me see and change my perspective with all of that. A year and a half of work every week showing up. A year and a half later, I have zero debt. I have many bank accounts with many dollars in them. I no longer feel a victim to money. I feel more confident as a Kira. I feel like I can trust myself more. I have one of the most beautiful apartments in town. I live in a luxury apartment. And when I was getting this apartment, we were doing my budget and we were looking at my budget. And this is the apartment that I wanted. It's the nicest one in town. It matched me, my people, the environment. But when we first did the numbers, I thought that it wasn't in my budget. I did the numbers wrong. And I went to my guide and I was like, I want this apartment. It's a little bit over my budget. And she was like, I will give you permission to do whatever you want to do, but I do not support this. And this is not the advice that I would give you. If you were asking me for my advice instead of just doing what you wanted to do, I would tell you to get a place that's a little bit less expensive. Spend the next year hustling, and you'll have the money to do it next year. But you can't, if you're going to backslide, and if you're going beyond what the golden rules are for finances, which your whole entire rent should be less than 30% of your income. And it's the income. It's either net or gross. It depends. You can talk to different people about different things. She was like, you're above that 30%. You are in jeopardy of in about 6 months moving back to your mom's. Is that worth it? And I had to sit my little booty down and I had to be like, it is not worth it. I would rather have a little bit less of a nice place, be a little bit further from everything, and not live with my mom and have my own money and not get into debt and not have to stress again. So I reckoned with that and I really sat with it. And I was like, okay, my friend has this beautiful quote: if you don't make sacrifices for what you want, then what you want becomes a sacrifice. I was not willing to sacrifice my own living as an adult. So she gave me a choice. She was like, you can do whatever you want, Kira. It's your life. I'm just helping guide you. You're the one living it every day. You're the one who has to deal with the consequences. You're the one who also has to live in your home. And there were certain things that her and I were looking at as well. So then we came back. I sent her a text on the weekend through our Life Guides app, and she sent me a text back. That was the whole conversation. We had a call on Monday, and we actually went through my numbers, and I was like, you're right. Thank you for your perspective. And then we went through the numbers after I looked at all of the apartments in town. And we looked at my actual numbers, and I saw that I did my math wrong. and I was able to afford living here. And I live in a beautiful artsy area with people my age, a bunch of entrepreneurs, a bunch of creatives. I live right on the river. It's gorgeous. But I had to get okay with not living here. And I had to get okay with maybe living elsewhere and sacrificing maybe all of the luxuries that I would have had here to be able to make sure that I am in my own stable situation and not back with my mom. And it's funny. This place ended up being like $200 to $300 under my budget. Then there was the question of what do I do with that $200 to $300 a month? Do I get a nicer place? Do I get the perfect view? Do I make this the perfect home? And the answer was no. I was really excited to be under my budget. And that was something I learned over the past year and a half with my guide. I still traveled. I still went on shopping sprees. I just had them budgeted out, and we decided during the times that I could do that. So I wasn't impulsive anymore, but I wasn't fully restricted for the entire year and a half. I bought a $2,000 Spanish course. I went on multiple $2,000 trips. I went on multiple, like a couple of $500 shopping sprees, very intentionally budgeted through. I wasn't fully restricted. I was still able to live my life, but I also had to super hoard my money and be super aware. We do these calls at Life Guides. I create all of this programming. I reach out to our guides. I ask them what they're passionate about. We put it into the programming and we have these conversations because I want you all to feel good and grounded and safe in your life. Money is a huge part of that. That's why we spend a whole quarter on it. We also spent a whole quarter on relationships. We also spent a whole quarter on how to focus on your well being. And we also spent a whole quarter on how to be a human and how to not be a machine. These are fun conversations. If you're the type of person who loves podcasts, it's easy to be here. I would be without a guide and just listening to everything. I would still be in $30,000 of debt trying to figure out how to move out of my mom's. I knew where I wanted to go. I did not know how to get there at all. I needed a guide. So just having the accountability, having someone every week tell me what to do and I could just do it, it took so much of the question marks out of my head because all of a sudden, I didn't need to have all of the answers. I just needed to be the person who could do what someone told me to do. I can do that. You tell me to run a mile, I can run a mile. Will it suck? Yeah, but I can run a mile. Am I going to run a mile on my own accord? Probably not. But I can do it. And if I want to become a runner, I might just start. But someone might need to tell me every day, hey, we're going to run 1.1 today. We're running 1.3 tomorrow. So I want to share with you the perspective of what it's like to actually have a guide and to actually do your work because I'm not where I am from just listening to cool people say cool things. I'm where I am because I took a year and a half of deep work, an hour a week with my guide, and many, 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 many. Thank you, Patrick. You get the picture. Yeah, every week, many hours of doing my own work. I had to. There were days when I was crying. And you want to know what? Talking about contentment, circling it back to contentment. I live here now. I live below my means. I am under my budget for my housing. I'll probably be under my budget for food. I'll probably be under my budget for my appliances. I want to live under my budget because you want to know what happens when I do all that? That becomes money that I save. But I'm really content in my life. I don't have this need necessarily right now for more. I love my car. It's a 2020 Mazda CX-5. It's nothing crazy. I love my apartment. It's a cute 800 square foot, one bedroom apartment. It doesn't have the best view, but it's under budget. And I have a place that I get to call home every day. I don't have to answer to anyone. And I walk my dog every morning. We're walking around the river trails and everything. And I'm just like crying every day. Tears of joy and contentment rolling down my face because I know the work that it took to get here. It's like bringing tears to my eyes. I know the woman that I had to become to get here. I know the times that I stared in the mirror and was like, what are we gonna do, Kira? What are we gonna do? We're gonna wait another year and not do anything? No. We really gotta do it. And what my guide said to me, that was probably the most impactful thing when I told her, I was like, I don't know if I can do it. I have no idea. I was trying to move to Puerto Rico. That's a big move. I don't know if I can do it. She was like, okay, you don't have to trust yourself every time, every day. She's like, do you trust me? Do you trust that I can get you there? Abso-freaking-lutely. Yes. You have 20 plus years of life experience over me and you've taught this to hundreds of people. Yes. Yes. She's like, cool. On the days where you don't trust yourself or where you don't believe in yourself, just remind yourself that you believe in me and I'm right beside you and you're not alone in this. And that changed the game for me. And I think it was at that moment that I really took all of this really seriously. I was like, oh, dang, I'm not alone in this. I got support, I got guidance. So, I mean, it's not even a shameless plug. We are life guides, and this is the work that we do. And if you're looking to have transformation in your life, we have people who will help you transform your life. A lot of us know where we want to go. We don't know how to get there. That's fine. There are a lot of people who know how to get there, and a lot of them are hired through life guides. So, what's really cool about today's episode that I didn't tell you about is that this is a hybrid episode. So, Motivational Monday is going to end in 3 minutes, and then this session's going to continue on for another 15 minutes. We're going to do my What is Life Guides. So, I'm going to teach you what is Life Guides, how to use it, and I'm going to actually show you the platform and show you how to find your own guide. For those of you who have to leave right at noon, you can go to app.lifeguides.com. Dropped in the chat for you. You can register for Life Guides. It's a free benefit that your employer pays for you to use unlimited as much as you would like these sessions, but also live one-on-one sessions with a guide. That would be my next step for all of you who are here. And then for those of you who are going to stay through the What is Life Guides presentation, this is for all of you who say, I don't have the time, I don't know where to get started, I don't know how to use it, I need to find a guide that works with a nighttime schedule. I'm going to show you all of that so you can see how easy this is and how you can actually use it. And there's been a lot of great comments in the chat. Usually I can read them more and interact a little bit more, but with it just being me, it's a little bit harder. So thank you for your understanding and your patience with that. For those of you who are here for Motivational Monday, thank you so much for being here. It is always a pleasure and a joy. Next month, we are going to be doing money management. So this month, we very, very intentionally did not dive into any of the specifics. We haven't looked at your bank accounts. We haven't fully looked at your habits yet. We needed to get the mindset because what's going on in the brain impacts the way that we see the world, interact with the world, and start making moves in the world. So we needed that first. Next month, we're doing money management, giving you actual real life tools. And then in December, we're doing money momentum, which is like, how do we get you really starting to propel forward and move forward on your journey? So that is it for Motivational Monday. We will see you next Monday, starting our money management. And for those of you who are going to be leaving, there's a survey that pops up at the end. Please fill it out. And for those of you who are inspired to stay and learn a little bit more about life guides, this is a presentation that I made that I think is so fun and so easy to understand who we are at Life Guides and what we do. Because I know a lot of you think that we're really cool, but I want you guys to be like, oh, Life Guides is my ride or die support system. I go to Life Guides when I need help with this. I go to Life Guides when I'm looking for support in this area. Whatever it is, I want Life Guides to be that built-in support system that you have in your life. So welcome to the Life Guides experience. This is real support by real people who have experienced real growth. And ideally, you're going to be one of those real people who has real transformations. So the question of the day, of course, is what is Life Guides? And the bonus question is how do I actually use it? So we'll dive into all of it. Again, this is a quick hitter, 10, 15 minutes, nothing crazy. So I want to ask you this question because my mom, my 65-year-old mother, called me the other day and she's like, I was putting my astrological chart into ChatGPT and she was telling me this, this, and this. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's telling you that all so many wrong things. Um, because I know so many things, right? And I was like, cool. So everyone and their mother now is using ChatGPT. Up until like 3 days ago, I was like, everyone's using ChatGPT. But now my mom's on it. Everyone and their mother is using ChatGPT for life advice. And ChatGPT is a great tool and a great resource, but it's not a real human. ChatGPT does not know you. ChatGPT doesn't know your history, what you've been through, and it only knows what you've fed into it. And ChatGPT is built on a positive feedback loop. So the answers that you're looking for, it's going to give to you. And ChatGPT can be really good in reframing our perspectives or getting new perspectives, but I also think that we're in a place right now, it's 2025, we're almost in 2026, where we are missing human connection more than ever before. And you can drop 444 in the chat if you feel that. I even feel that. I'm super well connected, I'm super well resourced, and I feel lonely and alone on a regular basis. It's real. We are a social species. Some form of AI is not going to satisfy what we need socially and the connection and the support and the I see you that a real human can give us. So, what we're doing at Life Guides is we're bringing human to human connection back in a real way to help you focus on your personal and professional growth. My guide that I've had helping me with my finances has definitely called me out on things that I would have never been aware of to even input into ChatGPT. So many of the things that we can't see about ourselves, when we have a guide, they can see. But ChatGPT doesn't do that. ChatGPT gives you an answer to your question and moves on with its little life. It's not fully devoted to you. It's not fully devoted to your growth. It's just a feedback loop giving you exactly what you asked for. We're going to ChatGPT because we know that something is missing. We know that we need support. And that's the cool thing. That's also the cool part of what ChatGPT is doing as well, is it's teaching us, I do have all of these questions. Wow, I can go to an anonymous place and ask these questions and not be judged. That's really good, great, and amazing. But it doesn't make up for the fact that we're still missing that human connection. We're still missing that feedback from someone else. So I asked that question because most of us know where we are now and we know where we want to go, but we don't know how to bridge from point A to point Z. So we've got the two main points, beginning and end, but we have no idea how to actually get there. And that's what we're struggling with. And that's what we're coping with as a society. And that is what most of us are going to ChatGPT for, is to start figuring out that roadmap. So I love this analogy. Drop in the chat what your favorite food is, like the food that you could eat every day, no questions asked. For me, it would be either tacos or fruit, maybe chocolate. Crystal says rice. Ty says burgers. Valid with the burgers. Frank says enchiladas. Oh, fish, tacos, fries, salad, chocolate. I love it. For me, it would be either fruit or tacos. Like, you could give me a taco any day, I'm satisfied. You could give me a bowl of fruit any day, I will jump up and down screaming. So imagine what your favorite food is, and you were scrolling on TikTok, or your friend told you, or you saw an article, or you watched a show, whatever. You found this amazing new city with either your favorite fish or your favorite taco or your favorite chocolate, and you're like, next weekend I'm going there. It's like a 2 hour drive. You book this cute little Airbnb and you're like, I'm getting that food next weekend. You get into the new city. Let's imagine that no one speaks your language. just to experience this new food, and you're ready to go. You checked into your Airbnb last night. You got all ready today. You got your little coffee, whatever. You're about to go walk out. Your phone is dead and you have no idea how to get there. What do? You can't talk to anyone. Your Google Maps isn't working. And let's pretend that you don't have a physical map. If I had a physical map in front of me, it would be the same thing as not having a map because I have no idea how to read that. Such a millennial. What do? I would be so annoyed that I did not plan accordingly. I would probably still try to stumble around the city finding it. And if I finally made it there at the end of the day, the tacos probably wouldn't even be that good because how much work and unnecessary work did I have to put in? If I knew how to get there, I would have been there with such ease, right? So that's most of us living our lives. You can drop 555 in the chat if you relate to that. There are places in my life that I still relate to that. Thank goodness, not as much with finances, but it's real. Now, instead, look at you guys with your 555s. It's real. Now, imagine that it's the perfect day, whether it's your favorite acai bowl or a new donut place or a new taco place. You're dressed, you're ready to go. You checked in yesterday, you woke up this morning, you got all showered, you're wearing a cute new outfit, or maybe for a dude, you got like your hat and your cool jacket, whatever. You feel cool. You're in this cool city, you feel cool. You turn on your phone and you put it in your maps and you realize that this food place is not only a 10-minute walk away, it is a perfect day, whatever your perfect weather is. For me, it would be hot and humid. Maybe for some of you, it's autumn time, it's breezy. And not only is it a beautiful day, it's only a 10-minute walk, but it's along this gorgeous river. You get there, for me, I'm getting my tacos. I get to sit outside right along the river. Best day ever. Chef's kiss. What was the difference? One had a roadmap. One knew how to get where they wanted. One had support. One had someone, whether it was a map or a life guide, saying, hey, if you make that right-hand turn, you're going to hit a pothole. Oh, if you continue in that direction, you're actually going in the opposite way of the taco place. You should turn around. That's what life guides does. So many of us know where we're starting and where we want to go, but we don't know how to get there. When you have a guide, they help you get there. They guide you through your life in whatever way. And you don't have to use life guides necessarily for crisis. You could use it if you move to a new city and you're trying to make new friends, starting a new business, you want to learn how to meditate. I've had guides take me on multiple guided meditations. As just a part of the guide experience. You could have someone teach you yoga. You could have someone teach you how to live a healthier lifestyle. You could have also have someone helping you manage caretaking for an elderly family member who has Alzheimer's. You could be going through postpartum depression and really struggling, and there's a guide for that. You could be in an alternate relationship dynamic and really struggling with it, and we've got guides who specialize in polyamory. There's so many things. Wherever you are in life, there is a guide for that. So how can you use life guides? We already know that we have our weekly and monthly virtual events. You all are pretty well plugged into that. But I need to see you all starting to plug into our guides because they are too cool and you guys are too committed to your own growth to not be using our guides. So we have our one-on-one customized confidential guide calls. And I'm going to show you our platform and how to use it in just a moment, but follow along. Scan that QR code on that QR code, the first button, it's going to say schedule your first session. You can follow along with me there, register for Life Guides and start seeing our guides that are there. Our Life Guides platform, this is what it looks like. app.lifeguides.com. If you ever need a question answered, you can always go to this little chat box here and we can answer. But say you're finding a new guide. You go to find a new guide, and for today's experience, we're just going to use financial well-being because that's what we are in. So we'll do growth, purpose, and prosperity. Once you go to the next step, you select what you're looking for. So for me, it would have been budgeting and saving and building a prosperity plan. Those were the two things. I really wanted to get my money and savings correct so that I could build a plan for what I wanted to see in my life, have more awareness around money, and be able to be a little bit smarter in navigating that. So then we view guides. And you'll see here that you can change the availability. Say that you only have weekday evenings. You can select that. It shows you guides who are only available weekday evenings. You have your guides here. You get to see their name, where they're from, their age, some of their experience. But if you want to go and view their profile, you can watch an intro video, get a feel for their energy. You can read through their whole entire bio, learn their superpower, the gray areas where they can support, and then also the ways that they can help you. So, Percy knows that finances are a leading stressor in someone's life. He's in charge of his family's finances and he has a financial advisor. Ooh, maybe I could use him. And he does spiritual growth. Wait, I could do that. And maybe you are ready to schedule a session, you book a call, and you're like, you pick a time, you pick a session, whatever, and you're like, I am just starting my financial well-being journey and I don't even know where to begin. That's real. Our guides are here to give you real advice on your real problems. So if you have no idea where to even start, that's perfectly fine. You can say that, and our guides will meet you right there. So instead, we're going to do tests because I already have a financial guide, but we're going to press confirm. So once you confirm, you get this notification, you get a text message and an email confirming your appointment. I literally just got the text right there. Um, you can do it on a phone call through our Life Guides platform. You could do it on a video call through our Life Guides platform. So once you schedule the session, it's all through our Life Guides platform. And I have a few more, just a few FAQs, and then we're done. So if you frequently ask questions, once you're booking your sessions and working with Life Guides, this is paid for fully by your employer. You do not have to pay for anything. It is available to adults 18 or older in your household. So it's not only you. Your partner could be going through something entirely different and you want to offer them the support of Life Guides. They have that. It's completely confidential through our secure platform. Everything is encrypted. I've looked at some back-end reporting and your name is like 18 different numbers and letters, some uppercase, some lowercase. Crazy. Ridiculously encrypted. You have unlimited sessions with unlimited guides about unlimited topics, and there's no insurance, paperwork, or qualifications. So if you wanted to book a call with a guide today, you could find one on our platform and start your journey today. So I wanted to share all of that because the work that we do here at Life Guides matters. My life is radically different from having a guide, and I've watched all the podcasts and listened to all the things, but something changed when I had a real person, a real mentor supporting me on my journey and helping me grow in the ways that I needed to grow, but I didn't know how to get there. A year and a half later, I am entirely out of debt. I live alone. I live a dream life and I'm content and happy with it. And I don't even need more. And I want you to feel that same contentment. And I want you to see that same joy in your life. If there's ever something that says purchase a subscription, the app.lifeguides app is not the link that is specific for your organization. There is a backlink that's specific for your organization. There's a survey that pops up at the end of this. If any of you are coming across problems, I can email you the direct link for your organization. So you can just leave that in the survey and I'll make sure that you get the information. This is so happy. I'm so happy to help you, but it has been amazing. Thank you all for continuing to be on this part of the conversation. The last Monday of every month will be a hybrid. So if you have family members in your household where you're like, wait, they should learn, you can send them the link to this and they can join as well. But the last Monday of every month, we'll do 30 minutes Motivational Monday, 15 minutes of Life Guides experience, just to make sure that you all feel good and supported and you know how to get to where you want to go. So thank you all so much for being here. I will see you next Monday for Motivational Monday. We're starting our money management series. And there is a survey that pops up at the end. Please fill it out. It is always helpful. And we will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.